course, once again, I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. As always, on this very platform, Radio Biafra Extra, of course, the platform is referred to as 7 Dimension. I welcome you from across the globe with every degree of certainty. And in most cases, we work very hard to try to deny ourselves. But every foundation we will lay thereafter will always be laid with the foundation stone of hypocrisy. And this is one thing we as a people should not engage ourselves in such processes. Because at the end of the day, when our hypocrisy is confronted, when true issues are engaged, our hypocrisy will be exposed. Anyway, I am George ONYIBE. I come from Delta State, Agbo, to be precise. And I must acknowledge men and women out there who understand why we must constantly engage the mind of our people. Because a lot is at stake. When everybody is blind, they are led by blind person. But if peradventure any of those blind people could see, you will discover that they will chart their own path. And this is how leaders emerge. If all of us has decided to be blind, we give deaf ears to the issues around us. All of us will head in the same direction. It is very pathetic that the same mistakes our fathers made, we are repeating them after over 100 years. And the amazing aspect of it is that because of our level of education, that vacuum within us to embrace this insatiable truth is gone. And those of you who are led, I would say, because you don't even know what you are doing, I welcome you this evening, or rather this morning, and I say, God, replenish you. And those who have stood in the line for a very long time, just sincerely assuring that the truth will prevail. I thank all of you. It's not going to be an easy journey, and nobody said it will. But at least a journey of 100 kilometers starts with a step. Appreciate the Almighty Creator, because without Him we are gone as a people. And so without wasting further time, we'll go to our topic this very morning. It is a continuation of the last episode, which was episode 002. This 7 dimension is a rebranded back to your root. And of course, the theme of our discussion this morning is spirituality and its implication. I encourage us not to shy away from the issue. Some persons will tell you it's very spiritual. Some want to pretend that they are spiritual. You don't need to do that. Whether you are a Christian, Muslim, pagan, as far as you are a human being, for God's sake, you have spirit, body, and soul. You are the embodiment of these 3 influences. So it is ironical and unprofitable for me to try to pretend that I'm a spiritual individual. No. So in most cases, when we make mention of certain issues as regarding spirituality, some people think we ask you to go and build shrine, to go and do ogomo, to go and bring up some things. And I don't condemn any of you. But I need us to take a stroll beyond the orientation we have had in the time past and understand that you are the embodiment of power. The indwelling power within every one of us is unimaginable. And that is why those who understand this concept, they don't fight anybody. They don't attack anybody. No wonder the Bible says, for God has given to us all that pertaineth life and godliness. But will that prevent suffering, hatred, without put an end to the manifestation of the flesh as it is referred to in Galatians? Or would it promote even the spirit of righteousness as also referred there? No. Your ability to assess this truth moves you from the dimension of ordinary man or woman to a different dimension. If you are careful enough, you will see some certain individuals eventually have become the author of their own destiny. They can decide what happened to them. I didn't say they can decide what happened to others. But certainly their action could influence what happened to others. So when we say the theme is spirituality and its implication, don't be carried away. And of course, our topic this morning is still reincarnation. And some of the reason why our ancestors believed it. Having considered the issue of reincarnation, we can all agree with the evidence all around us. But then for some reason, it is difficult for us to accept its existence because there is so much to prove. The issue of reincarnation, we all know about it. In our last discussion, we talked about the issue of Obanje from the Igbo extraction of Biafrans in Nigeria. It is also referred to as Abiku from the Yoruba Oduduwa extraction in Nigeria. And so the both culture, for instance, is not an alien to them. But I can assure you that there is no religion leader, there is no man of God, there is no intellectual who will come out openly and discuss this issue. Because you will be tagged that it's heresy. Because some may have to disassociate with you and begin to look for how, but our parents dwelled in this knowledge. It was part of their life. I can go on and telling you stories of reincarnation. There are a lot to discuss there. But in the coming days, as we continue to review some of this spirituality around us, I want to believe you will know the truth and you will be set free. We know the issue of reincarnation is true. I, as a person, have seen some things in my life. I cannot explain them. And in most cases, I have to keep my mouth shut so people don't say he's insane. There was a time in the early 80s. My mother went to Lagos. And she saw a woman who was our neighbor. They greeted and the woman gave her something, a shoe to be precise. I said, please, when you get home, give this shoe to my mother. I'm not yet ready to come back. I still have 1 or 2 business to do in Lagos. And my mother brought the shoe. And when she had lighted from the vehicle, after offloading her baggages, she saw the shoe and said, this woman said I should give this shoe to her parents. And then he called one of us to take the shoe to that home. And then it was like, the woman is dead. The woman is dead. My mother left everything she was doing. She ran to the house of those people. And behold, they just finished her burial. But what my mother did after that, I don't know. For instance, as a young man, I spent most of the time in the stream, in the river. In fact, I could say more than 10 hours of our daily living is spent in the river. And I remember one Saturday, I went to swim. And as the tradition is, once it begins to rain, we are advised to leave the stream, the river. And so immediately the weather changed. We were far inside the river. And those of you who are from Abo, I'm talking about then the Iyinwako to be precise. And then from that far end, the boundary between Iyinwako and Iyakon, I jumped into the water to get to the dry land before the rain will eventually hit the floor. And as I entered underground, as we call it, swimming as fast as I can to get out before erosion begin to come from the uptown into the stream, I saw a young girl at about my age. I should be around 17 years then. I was swimming to the upland. The girl was swimming into the river. But this unusual look, she was tying a scarf. And I know that in my community, there is no young girl at that age who could swim in such a unique way. I turned back and I looked at the girl. And the girl at the same time turned back and looked at me. I horribly jumped out of the bottom of the river. I was not afraid, because I have always known that this world is bigger than what we see. I could not explain it. I could say for almost a month of this encounter, I had nightmare all the time. I couldn't tell anybody until one day I told my mother. They kept scared that fear from me, and I was free. But you see, if everything has to be lie, there's nobody that can tell me that what I saw I didn't see. But you see, I cannot begin to dig into it and say they are alien or one thing or the other. But I simply believe that after this life, there is still another. I still believe that this world is not just inhabited by terrestrial body. It is more than that. But coming back to the issue of reincarnation, the evidence abound everywhere. The evidence abound everywhere. We know it's true, but we struggle to accept it. Why? Because we do not have much factual evidence to back up whatever we are going to say, and of course including on this program. And that is why the Bible in Deuteronomy 29:29 simply say, the physical things that have been revealed is for you and your children to enjoy, but the spiritual thing belong unto the Lord. Understand, this is not a church service, but I think as Christians, dominant Christians, the easiest reference religion book I can reference to is the Bible, and so I can be very sure of what I'm saying. And with this idea, as a Bible scholar, each time I ask my teachers certain questions, they shut me down with Deuteronomy 29:29. And of course I have to be obedient to the Lord, and I'm still obedient. But this will not change the single fact that he also said, come to me and I will reveal to you secret things that are hidden even before the foundation of the earth. And so whatever way, it is my right to know what I want to know, but certainly not my right to question God. And so the issue of reincarnation have been left that way. I also investigated certain scientific journals who will simply tell you that the theory of reincarnation comparing to that of Abiku were just symptoms of sickle cell anemia. You know, when it runs, when your blood group does not match and then you're going to produce sickle cell, not until that system is corrected, you begin to have children who die and come back, who die and come back. Our ancestors call it Obanji. The medical doctors from Western world say it's sickle cell anemia. And who know what we are missing here? Because those sickle cell anemia who manage to survive, watch them closely. There is something unique about them. They may be very lazy, they may not be very strong, but follow them up academically and otherwise. Let's not go there anyway, so we don't lose track of the focus of this journey. And don't forget, I said it is reincarnation and some of the reason why our ancestors believed in it. But this does not mean that it is totally false. Because I cannot prove anything does not mean that it's totally false or completely truth, but rather a call for caution as we may lose the benefit or face the consequences of our negligence. Now, when we talk about this issue of reincarnation, this is how I want you to view it. Don't say it's a force and you move on. This could be the reason why most of us are going through a hardship. Some of us are very wealthy, but in your life a situation occurs which makes your money insufficient. You have money, you can't buy anything, and then you have diabetes. I'm not a medical doctor, but I know when that issue is presented to a doctor, they check your genealogy. They want to find out, is there any diabetic patient in your family? When it comes to the issue of having twins, doctors want to know, do you have the history of twins? Pregnant women can attest to that. And in most cases, the sicknesses that affect you, they want to check if somebody has suffered it in your family. Why am I saying this? Because if we say, oh, it's false, let's ignore it. The diabetes you're suffering from If it is truly something you inherited from your DNA, reincarnated one way or the other, it is incurable. But the truth is that it cannot kill you. And so you have money. What else? Don't eat sweet, don't take mineral, don't do this one. Then if you are in Nigeria here, then you eat black soup, no palm oil, no sugar, no salt. You now eat plantain, unripe one. What a horrible life. I had a sister who suffered for that. They were very rich. They rather allow their food to rotten in their fridge than to give it to somebody. And I keep wondering, why will this woman stock the fridge with different meats and then allow them to rot? And when I discovered her condition, I pitied her. There are most people here, you are as a woman, you are very wealthy. You don't have husband. I'm not saying this is your problem. Sometimes this can spiritually or genetically influence. It is not coincident that you see a particular family where there is no husband. And then you see one of them will walk out of his way and break that gene. But they won't tell you how it all began or how it's all going to be end. Only those who ignorantly sit down and think that is how God wants it are the people who will die in such miserable situation. Because you must understand that you have what it takes to change your life. And so if in the end of it, the issue of reincarnation is true, what we do in one life reflects in this present life. And then we understand the mistakes we have made in the past. It calls for a correction, and this curse will be broken. There are certain families in your community. They will tell you nobody goes there. We don't intermarry with them, we don't associate with them. And it's that way. Of course, they may prosper financially, but nobody goes there. And when you go there and say what happened, they will tell you how their ancestors committed a particular sin and the villagers placed curse on them, and then that is how it is. And there are families that they don't grow old. And if God will say he will punish the sins of the father to the first, second, third generation, I want to see similarity there. But to cap it all without confusing you. So do we actually believe in reincarnation? I mean in destiny? Because in the other hand, when you review the issue of reincarnation, it's almost on the same line, tone, mindset and idea with destiny. But of course we all believe in destiny. It is your destiny to be great. It is your destiny to be successful. It is your destiny to be happy. And you are encouraged to change your destiny. Fight for your destiny. Live for it. That does not call for segregation, because it looks very natural. But it's still spirituality, spiritual aspect of our life. And so I want you to view the issue of reincarnation in line with destiny. Some of us are destined to survive. Some of us are destined to be conqueror. Some of you are destined to help people. If you like, kill the whole world. Nobody will help you. The people you are even helping cannot appreciate you. It is your destiny. It is not a curse. You are just created as a helper. Nobody can help a helper. And so if it is easy for you to assimilate the doctrine of destiny, and you're struggling with the issue or theory of reincarnation, and then you're going to lose a whole lot. The Indians, their religion, most especially focused on reincarnation. And in one of the articles written by one of them, he said that the issue of reincarnation, for instance, was removed from the Bible in order to keep our mind focused in heaven. And then if you know you have to live, die, then come again, what's the need of paying tithe and offering to go to heaven? But whether you pay tithe and offering to go to heaven, and Christianity encourages us to do the right thing, the same way reincarnation encourages us to do the right thing. Because if I have to kill everybody, blackmail everybody, destroy everybody, and then die and come back, and those people will be waiting for me, or they will die after me and follow me back here to torment me, I think I better coordinate myself. And so this brings us down to some of the reasons why our ancestors actually believed in reincarnation. Having considered the issue of reincarnation, we can all agree with the evidence, but very difficult for us to accept. But this does not mean that it is totally false, not true. The focus on this very segment is to consider some of the major reasons why our ancestors believed in the theory of reincarnation. One of them, it is meant to program the mind of the people toward living a decent life. I mean, some of the purpose of reincarnation is basically to learn how we should treat other people, how we should present ourselves. And now this will take me back to Chinua Achebe of blessed memory. People write novels to entertain, but his novel goes beyond entertaining. But it delved into the history of the Igbo people to the extent that his work will remain a living document. You all already know about the things fall apart. What about the arrow of God? What about the other articles? Novels he wrote. All these were the embodiment of our culture and tradition. And then if we go to the popular things fall apart, he talked about two distinct individuals, Okenkwo and his father, Unoka. Unoka, as you all know, was presented as a lazy man, a coward, a money borrower. But Unoka has struggled all his life to be happy. And because of this attributed laziness, Unoka died with a skin illness that made him to be buried in the evil forest. Now Okenkwo had what it takes to change his destiny. And that is why the issue of reincarnation comes in. Okenkwo would not want to associate with the manner of which his father conducted himself. So he engaged on the principle of hard working and was able to make a name for himself. But along the line, he missed it all. He had a name which his father didn't have. He had money which his father did not have. He had firms. But along the line, he introduced himself into violence. They went to fight the neighboring community, their own people. It led to the death of Ikemefuna. And in case you don't know, it was the death of Ikemefuna that undid the achievement of Okenkwo. And so though he has sojourned as a hero, he died like an ordinary man. This also is applicable to every one of us. If these issues are not reviewed one on one, sometimes you sit back and trace your generation. Some of you don't know your family member more than your father. Our people will say it runs in the blood. Find out what runs in your blood. Influence that decision for the overall good of humanity. And then you see, if it be a curse, you would have been able to change the path for your people. And so, like I said, our ancestors believed in the doctrine of reincarnation. Why? Because it helped them to conduct their life. For instance, if I know that when I die, I'm going to come back again, and I love my community and I want to return to my community. Let us assume I destroy my community. When I eventually come back, I'm coming to that place that I have destroyed. And that is why in most cases, most of us, our community did not favor us. Something is not right somewhere. I'm not going to go in depth. But I want us to assume that is just it does not exist. Understand, assumption does not have legal backup in the law. So let us assume. You are here destroying your people, destroying everything because you feel you have the power. This thing is going to come back to you. And if you know it's going to come back to you, you will suffer greatly for it. Why toil on that part? Look at the Jehovah's Witness, for instance. They can tell you they don't believe in reincarnation. But somewhere along the line they do. Because they believe when they die, they're going to come back and inherit the earth. I don't know the grammar or methodology this process is referred to, but I want you to look out there to every Jehovah's Witness you see around. They dress decently. They may hypocritically pretend that they love one another. At least they are doing it better than every other religion I know. And when they are going out trying to minister, they pay attention inheriting the earth. And some of them could very funny looking at their houses to inherit. But at least this keep them on one track, trying to preserve this world so that they will not damage it before they come back to inherit it. Now you begin to get the idea. I need you to look at Jehovah's Witness people as poor as they can. When they are going for that their evangelism, you will see even from the remotest village around the world to the mega city, they are very coordinated and dressed decently. This is not because some of them were brought up that way. The belief led them there. And so, if I ask you today to believe in reincarnation, one of the reasons so that it will guide your activities, not so you become a spiritual man. I look at what most of us do, and then I wonder where their end will be. And that boils down to most of our people everywhere. You're destroying everywhere. You're terrorizing everybody. And you see, no matter how strong you are, you're certainly going to die. And if the knowledge of reincarnation is true, and you kill me in this life, I died and I've gone ahead of you. So wherever I've gone to, when you come there, I will be older than you, more learned than you, more advanced than you, more mature than you in that realm. And I have the mind to revenge you. You are in a deep shit. And so you see, you cannot run away from your atrocity. These are some of the reasons why you see certain individuals, they just fall in love with you. You say, I don't know this guy, but I just like the guy. My brother, there are spiritual influence. Find out that person your path has crossed before. And in the same way, you see somebody say, I don't know this guy, but I just hate the guy. My brother, move a little bit back. Find out your path has crossed before that time. But you have a choice to influence such situation or to leave it that way. Despite the fact that we accept the theory of retaliation or not, it does influence the actions we make in the present life. And that is when the issue of destiny should be reviewed. So if you believe in destiny, how then is it that you don't believe in the theory of reincarnation? The issue of reincarnation has a lot to do with our individual life. Some of us seems to be fighting to defend others, to make others helpful to others, while some of us are meant to be destructive element, depending on the path that we have chosen to walk. But I use it as a destiny or as reincarnation. Some of you, you can't help it. You can't. I have seen some persons in my life. They can't help it. They must feed you before they eat. Even when it is left only one portion, they rather give it out than to eat that portion and then let you be hungry. And I've seen people who, instead of them to give you that plate of food, they rather throw it to the dogs and watch you starve to death. All these things has to do within spiritual influence. So most of the challenges we face in life is titled to this issue: reincarnation or destiny. Examining the aspect of our life can be influenced. It can be modified as when necessary. Let's just assume we're going to come back. I want you to look at what you have done so far. You can influence it. You can modify it so that karma, which keeps going and coming, will work in your favor. Now, why am I saying all this? If you do not pay attention to these issues, you live a normal life, but will constantly be confronted with problems you cannot solve. Look at us as a people. For how many years we have been fighting to extricate ourselves, for instance, from Nigeria. And those who started this are no longer there. And the more we fight, it is evidence that we are not going anywhere. And the amazing thing is we are still making the same mistakes. And so to me, it looks like we have not learned. We say we want to fight for the freedom of our people. But then we are busy killing our people. And that will bring me down to this issue of agitation. If you are all there saying you are fighting for Nigeria to be restructured, which is equivalent to Biafra restoration. If you say you are fighting for political involvement, which will give us an avenue to make our input in the current structure of Nigeria, you want constitutional amendment or what? But then the same thing you are complaining that is why we are kept down is the same thing you are doing. Let us tell ourselves a little bit truth. Those of you who are agitating, and of course I am. How do you feel when you attack somebody who has not offended you? Are you trying to defend what you know nothing about? Or you are trying to follow the crowd? There is consequence. No, I want us to look at it. On daily basis, I will continue to attack Nnamdi Kanu. This is not the hatred of him that drives me. This is because of the knowledge I have about him. And in as much as I don't even want to discuss those issues here, reincarnation will come. And then if, for instance, after everything, all those people that unknown government has killed, Desiane, Maduke, husband, and the rest of them will come back to this life. And let's assume your brother is the unknown gunman. You see, your family is going to have it very difficult. Those are some of the reasons you see betrayal everywhere. If this mindset was there, that this person you are poisoning is going to come back, you will rethink. Just look at us. I need you to take a look at it and assume if there is reincarnation. Most of you will not do what you are doing. So the issue of reincarnation should not be viewed as fetish or no. It has a lot of role to play in our lives. These are some of the reasons why our ancestors believed in them. This program is therefore meant to broaden your knowledge to that level where you can be able to change some of the things that are applicable to you, to happen to you, for you to be connected into reality regarding the issue of reincarnation. And so as we are living today, every problem you are encountering in your life is connected to something. But if you do not know how to engage this four-dimensional world you are living, physically, spiritually, and otherwise. Every other influence around will subdue you. So on this platform, we want to draw you into the light of knowledge that can help you live a holistic, victorious life. These are things that are all around you. Your involvement in them, your participation in them, automatically will change your life. Some of you will never have a good job, no matter how qualified you are. It is connected to what you are saying. Let me give instance. I have a friend who was a graduate then. And after 10 years of graduating, no employment. He decided that when he is looking for a job, that he needs to begin to further. And so in that unemployment mood, he got his master's degree. And the boy is the only son. And he's my friend. And so one day, he told me, I am tired of life. I said, look at every degree I have acquired. No job for me. And he said to me, somebody have told me that there is a spell working against me. That any day I will gain employment, that is the day that spell will break. And now he was discussing this with me because he knows I'm a kind of spiritual, mysterious individual. And so I say, in that case, employment you shall get. And so with a master's degree, I placed him in a company where he become a common laborer. His even director is not a master degree holder. In fact, when the manager discovered the academic qualification of that guy, they were like asking me, why would such a person work here? That guy knew what the manager does not know. That guy knew what the CEO does not know. That guy knew what none of you knew. And then he worked there for like 3 months. And in the process of that 3 months, he got employment in a very big company in Anambra State. So he left River State and relocated to Anambra. In few months, he was married, living a very prosperous life. It requires spiritual direction. Some of you are in the same position, but they told you it's fetish. I can go on and give you instances. So forget about what you are going through as a person. Engage the process. Redefine your life, how you influence all of them. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm not telling you it's going to be a fairy tale. You're going to pay dearly for it. But you see, let the consolation be in the simple fact that when you turn back and look around you, you will be glad that you did take those aspects. So today, begin to walk on the path where you should be true to yourself. All those sarcastic and hopeless attitude we have learned over time, it will come to you. Let me digress to Nnamdi Kanu and his followers once again. There were times it was fun to blackmail everybody. You are evil, you are a saboteur, you are this one. Now they have called everybody out as a saboteur, including me, George ONYIBE. I need you to activate your thinking faculty and tell me that in less than 6 weeks, IPOB member can come out and call Simeon Ekpa a fraud and push all the blame of Nnamdi Kanu atrocity to him. But it is to be expected because Simeon Ekpa actually came to take the place of Uche Mefo. But Nnamdi Kanu could not do that because there are implications. Tell Nnamdi Kanu to come and expel Uche Mefo now. And for your information, I hope you know Mazi Mefo did not resign. He stepped aside to observe. And now that he's a saboteur, come and sack him. Come and expel him. But that having been said, there were times people like Bright Imezi and others were on social media insulting Uche Mefo. Nnamdi Kanu never said anything. Have you seen Nnamdi Kanu responded to attack on Simeon Ekpa despite the fact that he employed Simeon Ekpa to change the narratives. Now, it boils down to the issue of reincarnation. It is going to come back to you. My brother, it is not the hatred of me that brought you here. What have we benefited all these years we have been fighting ourselves? But for instance, I have a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because in the absence of light, darkness will prevail. I will stand upon this very dark road, walk in the valley, even without any hope of seeing light in the next tunnel. But this message will be driven home. Because if we fail to do that, the next generation will suffer its great consequence. So the issue of reincarnation will help you live beyond yourself and your immediate family. And then showing overall interest to protect your own people. That is when true love will begin to manifest. If there is anybody in your family that is said, so of your relative, reincarnated, I want you to look at that person. If that person has been good to you, you will see the joy you will derive from being around that person. And if that person is bad to you, you will see the negative influence will be around you when that person comes. I have somebody who they said is my mother that reincarnated. In fact, my mother said it before she passed on. And each time I see the woman, the girl, I see my mother. And you see, I am filled with joy because I love her. I call her names. I play with her. You can only experience positive in the air, positive vibration. And then you can imagine the enemy I hate so much now decide to reincarnate to my family, and I have this belief. Imagine the negative vibration everywhere. It will not affect only you. It will affect everything. So for this journey to begin, we need to clean ourselves. We need to clean ourselves. And that is the process we have started. Most of you begin to wonder, well, why did you have to move on with a reincarnation? This is because I want you to have a renewed life. Did Christianity not tell you that except a man be born again, except a man be born again, it starts by being rebirth. And then he said, he that is born of the flesh is of the flesh. He that is born of the spirit is of the spirit. Now, rebirth is the reincarnation. They are the same thing, just are presented in different way or form. So for you to start anything, there must be rebirth. It's applicable to your marriage. You're jumping from one woman to another, and you did not change the frame of your mind, you're going to destroy your marriage. You've been very careless with your finance, and then you open your business, you're going to go bankrupt in the shortest of time. And then as a young man, you're living large, forgetting that as a married man, your responsibility continue to grow on daily basis. You may eventually have to beg money. And so the rebirth now is the ability to leave certain things and move on with certain things. My apology that in this segment I have to call out certain individuals. But that is not my intention here. Once again, I want to be in the midst of my brothers and my sisters whose hearts are guided by love, whose hearts are guided by principle, so that we can be able to go into that place where God dwells. No wonder the psalmist says, who can ascend unto the hills of the Lord? You have to correct it. But somewhere along the line, you think you're going to put up this shenanigan, and then you have the system corrected. My brother, you are just starting. And that brings us to that point where I say, I am your destiny and I am your doom. You cannot be wrong and get right. I am happy that at the moment of this broadcast, I'm still an Igbo man. No matter how we drag it, the Igbo may not be IGBO, but the Igbo is IBO. But then what is the difference between IGBO and IBO? That is not the area we are focusing on. But I think we have made terrible mistakes in the past. This is the time for us to embrace this spiritual process of rebirth. I sent out a Facebook page link before this broadcast. I sent out a WhatsApp group link before this broadcast. Be free to enter there. I've put 1 or 2 facilities in place to coordinate people's activities. Understand the purpose why we are there is to help one another. Ask questions that can help you. Engage in issues that you will see revelation about things you know nothing about. We are here to help you change your life by yourself. And so if it's unemployment, you will get it. If it's a husband or wife, you will get it. If it is the healing, you will get it. Nobody is going to do a brakata. We are going to point to you everything that is around you, which is eventually a solution to that problem you are encountering. But you can only get the best of me. I can only get the best of you when we are in our right state mind. So if you are in a platform already where all that you are allowed to think or to do is to become vocal and irritating, it's okay. I won't judge you. Continue. But when you come close to this 7th dimension, my brother, coordinate yourself. Call yourself to order. And of course, if there is any reason you need to talk to me, you have my WhatsApp number on that screen. The number there is my WhatsApp number. But I can be very nasty when I want to. But then I am guided by simple principle to enable all of us see the truth. And in the end, we can have this whom we bled for, this whom we love. I see the truth before me. And certain individuals want to influence you to lie. I will not do that. In as much as I may not attack you, but I will not do that. But the most important thing that in the coming days, brothers and sisters who are part of this platform will come forth and begin to give testimony about what is happening around their life. Because the transformation has already begun. This is the time for you to be truly rebirthed. Forget about the theory and build your mind on the spiritual orientation, on the spiritual implication. So these are some of the reasons why our ancestors believed in it. Live and let's live. This will what influence the society we all grew up to see. This is December. In the 80s, in a time like this, you see vehicles coming from around the world, moving down to the east. The moment on holiday, you see rapid movement from across the world down to the east. But how a lot of things has changed now. You're afraid to come home. But yet you support the evil. It is time for a bet. So if you must follow us on this journey, because we have not even started. I'm just introducing the first platform for you to understand that the call for reincarnation or reviewing the issue of reincarnation is a call for you to prepare your mind for a bet. The lines are open, and of course, if you're able to call, I may take 1 or 2 calls. I'm not asking you to antagonize me, to tell me I'm wrong or I'm correct, but of course, you have a choice to make. But if you have a contrary view, you want to throw more light into what we are saying. If you are not able to get the line to contribute, you are free to inbox me, raise up issues that can be discussed. We will pick it up. Let our people know the truth that have the capacity to set them free. And that WhatsApp line to call, it says 090 090 380 57131. 090 570 rather 090 380 57131. You are free to call in and make your own contribution. Reincarnation, very important issue we cannot overlook. I have a caller on WhatsApp, and that should be my sister Agowanya. Let's see. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir, from here.
Good morning, my dear, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Wow, I'm just happy that I entered and I saw you talking. So I may not actually know the topic, but I think you said is a continuation of the program you did the other day, reincarnation. Of course, yes. The reason why many people didn't understand the things around them is because of, sin at times covers somebody's eye, it blindfolds somebody. Because if somebody is pure, both in heart and in his dealings, there are certain things heaven and earth will be revealing to you. That's why we have been pleading for this program, and I really want to thank you for starting with it again, because many people, Bible even said it that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. But the time that you will be guided with the right knowledge and the thing you do things right, things is going to happen. Like as I normally say, and some people may start misunderstanding it as if the person being fetish or something of that nature. No, when I'm talking about our ancestors, in those days there are certain things you ought not to do, because I may say the law of Moses was obtainable then, because if you just do it, immediately you start receiving your repercussion. The reason why many people are gallivanting up and down today, committing all manner of evil, is because they claim that they are Christians. They are now carrying Bible, using it to cover all their atrocities. They go into church and commit all manner of sins. I think that they are covered because they will go and plead themselves with the blood of Jesus. That's the major reason why things are going zigzag for our lives and our land today. If it were in those days that our ancestors have not been, or our land has not been desecrated, you will not tell me that somebody will go and spill the blood of an innocent soul on the ground, then you yourself will still be moving upright, looking for what you will eat or what you will use to live large. Like as you said, thank God for this eye opener, because I'm beginning to experience that thing you are saying. I have found some instances where you may even be going, you will see somebody that will be calling you a name that you don't even know. It happened to me one certain time. So the person kept on calling me. I didn't even know that I'm the one he was talking to, the one he was able to come and double cross me. Say, why are you not answering? Didn't you hear my call? He says, I looked at this person. There's no way I know this person. I said, I don't know you. And it happened that this thing happened in Warri, and this person talking is Urobo person. He was just speaking their language. I was looking at him. I said, my man, I don't even understand the language you're speaking. And I'm meaning that I'm here. I'm an Igbo. In a shock, he looked at me again. He said, wow. Really, people are too in this life. You mean you are not so person's wife? I said, no. He quoted the place for Bokodo for me. I said, no. Thank God though that if he reaches home now, he would have gone to do that aproko, telling the man that he saw the wife for so place. He didn't know that he's not the person. Thank God that he was able to come and talk with me face to face, because when my dad was alive, they normally discuss this, and I always overhear them discussing it with other adults. They say that somebody stood in this life, that the person you came into the life with, you stay in the same boat with and come into the life, into this earth, that both of you must have resemblance, either at the additional officially. So if they believe that somebody follow somebody and come, did that mean that there is reincarnation? And I could remember when we read that book in the secondary school called Abiku, coming and going these several seasons, do stay out on the baobab tree. Chant circles at my feet, but in vain thy bangles cast. When we are reading all these things, we getting the yes. And the repeated time. I say he's going and coming. Do stay at the bow. If indoor is not enough for you, please go and stay on the baobab tree. What is the baobab tree then? Bamboo tree. So meaning that there is a kind of a place they gather. discussing on the places they will go for their journey. And it happened to our place. There's one person that kept on coming like that. The last one, this person came, the parents were angry and went and used a cutlass to cut one of the hand at that is the palm. They cut it from the palm. Do you know that this person, the next pregnancy of that woman, he gave birth and they born this child without one hand. The palm was not there, but at the end, something like fingernails grew from that palmless place. Do you know that this man carried it when he died? He uses it to cultivate hips. He will carry hoe and use the other hand and support it. And he uses it to do all manner of work, and he did not die again. So, and there's another sign that shows that there is reincarnation. In our place, if they bury somebody, it's not these days that they are putting people in a coffin. Because that coffin then put people now and bury blindfolds them, their spirit as well. In those days, they use ordinary mat to wrap somebody. They said that if you did not cover that place well, and the person is buried and the sand from the grave touches the person's skin, whenever the person that will be born that will bear the name of that person, you will see that sign on that person's body. That place will become white. You can see some people that their body skin did not blend. Some places are white. I know you people have given it a different name, but in my place, they believed that there is a sign that something happened to his or her namesake. Because that namesake they give to somebody is part of the reincarnation we are talking about. You will see some people that when you nickname that person to either your father or your mother, you will carry all the attribute of that person. Everything that person is doing, the person will be doing it. I'm an eyewitness to that, but it's not everything somebody says on the air. But because of Christianity, we keep on hiding the truth, keep on hiding the things that would have made this life to be better. Who says that our ancestors are not there? So far you are breathing in air. These airs we breathe in. We were told that God molded sand and breathed a breath of life into it and it became a living soul. What is that breath? Is the reincarnation we are still talking about. These are our ancestors. All of them still speaks through the air. At times you may stay on your own. You start hearing from them talking, but it depends how pure you are able to keep yourself. So I am really happy to appreciate your good work, because Rome is not built in a day. Small like this will continue to, when our ancestors and our land, the gods of our land, will still help us, as Chukwukika Abiyama himself does, so that this message will start sinking into the brain of our people. Because if our youth that are dying in different joints and the bushes today, if they will have this kind of sound message and know that they have been created to come into this planet Earth and fulfill one obligation or the other before going. Do you know that somebody will die and go and start living in another place? I'm an eyewitness to that. It happened to me, even in my own family. There's my brother that senior me. He died prematurely because he died at the age of his 30-something, 35 or thereabout. He was even about getting married that time. They now poisoned him. Do you know that I will stay like this in the house? I will see him, he will enter. I don't know whether another person sees him or not. He will enter like this. We will be jubilating, brother, trying to hug him. He will disappear. One of his friends came from Lagos. Then we were in Onitsha. My husband was still alive then. He came there. They answered the same name. Joseph was his name, and that his friend, the title friend, the same name. So that person came. He died, and we have not made it public. This person, nobody has told him. He came. to our place at Onisha. And I'm very much sure that my brother has not gone to Lagos talking of going to where that his friends live. So when he came to our place, we were welcoming him. This one you reach here this afternoon. He said, yes, something brought him. That he saw that where is his friend, his namesake. I said, what are you talking about? He said, no, he saw him that week. That he was in a house. All of a sudden he came. Now he knocked and they entered. He shouted, he said, you are here. He said, yes, he came for a message. He said, okay, that he should come, let them go to a joint and take some drinks. He took him to a joint and bought a small stout. So as he opened the small stout, he was drinking his own, but he have never seen that my brother taking his own. I said, why are you not drinking? He said, he will drink, he's coming. Maybe that atmosphere he took him to was not conducive for him to give him the message he came to give to him. Then he said he want to ease himself. That's how he disappeared. He didn't see him again. So he couldn't bear it. He had to enter motor from Lagos to our place before he had the news. He shocked. That message he wanted to go to give to him is me that he later came and gave me that message. You know, Christianity, we call it trance. But this one is that I was with my Kurukuru eye when he entered and told me what happened. So, my brother, unless those that have not gone will not know, things are happening for this life. It's only, the Bible says that if you listen to that small still voice, he will tell you something. But that small still voice still represents something else. But if you don't know, you don't know. So, and if you know the kind of gene you are born with and the kind of being you be, the best thing for you is to keep your hands clean and let your heart be pure. Anybody that tries you, that want to take away your life, the person will take his or her own life. There are some people you cannot kill and go scot-free. That one I know. So I really thank you for the good work you are doing. I just want to really contribute later. I'm not, because I know many people will not believe that, but the very few, Bible even said that many are called, but the few are chosen. The very few that understand the things of nature will understand what you are teaching, and the person will be beneficial with it by making use of it. I say continue with your good works. We go nowhere. We must continue preaching this gospel. Every dig and Harry must get to hear about it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Stay blessed.
Thank you. Truth cannot be overemphasized. Understand, this is not to complicate the whole issue, your mind. This is just to point you out to certain things that can change your life for a bit. Then there is no need for you to be here. You must be ready. And when Christians say you must be born again, that becomes the opening access. When we talk about the issue of astral travel, we talk about the issue of traveling in the timeline, and among others, we dash it out because our mind, we cannot comprehend it. But they are there. Those of you who have tried to poison me in different occasions, imagine if I die, I'll be somewhere waiting for you. Imagine if I have to come back and meet you. And now you begin to see some reason why some children kill their parents, why some children kill their uncle, why some children kill elderly people, why some children do what they do. It is connected. Somebody was talking about a young man who has to kill his father's wife or thereabout because he was informed that those people will kill him. Something was not right somewhere. It goes beyond what he was told and what he is doing. We are in many ways connected without knowing. But there is time for rebirth, for you to completely recover yourself now and then control your lives. There is so much we are going to discuss on this platform, but we will stop there for now so that you will not be confused. Get involved. Reshape your life. Influence what happened to you. Let us once again prepare the platform to rebuild our society. I want to thank you, Agowanye, for your contribution. That is the truth. The issue of doubles are there. Most of you who are twins, it is a covenant that keeps you together. Have you wondered? Once there is a twins in a family, it continues to run. Once there is a twin in your family, whether from the man or the woman, you become part of that covenant of twin. Biologically proven. Somebody must give birth to a twin. And if this is possible, scientifically and all the wise, why do you think there are no other aspect of life that has not been investigated that are true? This is the time for you to go back, review your life, get ready to embrace this transformation in the form of reincarnation. On behalf of 7 Dimension, I remain George ONYIBE, and I sign off from here. Goodbye, and don't forget, if you have any question regarding this discussion, be free to inbox me on my WhatsApp, and I will respond to you. If you have any spiritual issue regarding this matter, be free to inbox me. We shall look into it. Above all, as we continue to progress, we need people to sponsor this program. And it is what you can be able to provide. Because this truth must get to our people. It doesn't matter whether you support or not. This truth, it must get to our people. But of course, it's going to take all of us to save all of us. I sign off from here. Ndewonu.